you get it, brother?
Agents clipped me.
Give me a hat. Looks better on me anyway.
Civilization is gone. A virus has turned people into monsters called howlers. In rural New Zealand, scattered survivors cling to life in the ruins of the old world. No one remembers exactly how it began. Some say it was a mutation, others blame the government. But the truth no longer matters. Cities are empty, families are broken, and the few who remain live in constant fear of infection. A woman named Rory kneels beside a grave in silence. The earth is freshly dug, and her face is blank with grief. Her husband had been infected. When he turned, Rory was the one who ended his life. But tragedy didn't stop there. Before she acted, her husband attacked their young daughter, Maddie, biting her arm. Rory prayed it wasn't too late. She waited, hoping against hope that Maddie would stay human. But the change came quickly. The little girl's eyes clouded, her skin grew pale, and her body twisted into something inhuman. Rory held her close, whispering Maddie's name until the very last moment. Then, with her hands trembling, she did what she had to do. She pulled the trigger. In that instant, her world collapsed. Her husband was gone. Her daughter was gone. And Rory no longer had anything left to fight for. 2 years pass. The world outside grows darker. Rory still lives in the same ruined home, but now she shares it with Otto, her father-in-law. Otto clings to survival, venturing into the mountains to hunt for rabbits, the last source of food. He insists that life must go on, but Rory drifts through each day in silence, empty of purpose. One morning, the crackle of a radio breaks the stillness. A voice echoes through the static, speaking of the new world order. The old government has collapsed. In its place, the GMA has risen, gathering survivors into massive camps. But these camps are no sanctuary. Inside, people are treated as prisoners, stripped of freedom and forced to obey. Some resist, many fight back, but those who defy the GMA are hunted down and captured. Rory listens with hollow eyes. Otto warns her not to leave the safety of their home. Between the roaming howlers and the ruthless GMA patrols, death is everywhere. But Rory barely reacts. Deep inside, she no longer fears death. She almost welcomes it. Far from their home, a man rides hard through the forest. His name is Noah. 3 GMA agents pursue him on horseback, their rifles raised. Noah clutches a satchel to his chest as blood seeps from a wound in his side. Inside the satchel is something extraordinary, the first known antidote to the virus. He bursts through the trees and finds his ally, Lockie, waiting at the forest's edge. Noah's voice shakes as he tells him the cure must be delivered. But the agents are closing in fast. Lockie makes a choice. He tells Noah to keep riding while he stays behind to slow the soldiers down. Noah refuses at first, unwilling to abandon his friend. But Lockie insists. With no time left, Noah finally rides off, leaving him behind. Lockie opens fire, drawing the agents' attention. But they quickly overpower him. Their leader, Logan, demands answers. He wants the antidote, and he will stop at nothing to find it. Lockie stays silent. Logan shocks him with electricity, demanding to know where Noah went. Still, Lockie refuses. Enraged, Logan executes him on the spot. His enforcers, Brooks and Scout, look on in silence. Scout mutters that Lockie should have been taken alive, but Logan dismisses her. For him, prisoners are useless. The only thing that matters is recovering the cure. Back at the river near her home, Rory sits on the bank, lost in memory. Maddie once played here, her laughter filling the air. Rory closes her eyes and raises her gun, ready to end her pain. But then, a sound interrupts her. Through the rain and mist, a horse appears. Tied to its back is a man, bloodied, unconscious, and barely clinging to life. Rory stares at him. She should walk away. Helping strangers only brings death. But the horse refuses to lead, pawing at the ground as if urging her not to turn her back. At last, Rory moves to the man's side. She drags him onto the horse and leads them home. In the barn, she searches his bag and finds the antidote. Her eyes widen. Whatever this man carries is dangerous. Later, Otto returns from hunting. On the path home, he finds a body ripped apart by howlers. In the distance, he spots GMA patrols moving closer. His face hardens. The danger is near. That night, Otto discovers Noah in the barn. Furious, he tells Rory she has endangered them both. He recognizes the man's uniform. Noah is GMA. If agents are searching, they will soon find this place. Rory insists she couldn't let him die. But But Otto shakes his head. Saving Noah could cost them everything. He decides that by morning, Noah will be taken far from their land. But the night ahead will bring choices neither of them are ready to face. Rain pours steadily through the night as Rory and Otto eat in silence. Otto chews carefully, grateful for the rabbits he managed to catch. Rory, however, barely touches her food. Her thoughts drift again and again to the stranger lying in the barn. Otto notices her distraction and warns her sternly. In this world, trust is dangerous. Strangers bring risk, and risk brings death. He reminds her that survival is all that matters. Rory looks at him with empty eyes and whispers that she no longer sees a reason to live. Otto shakes his head. To him, survival is purpose enough. When the house grows quiet, Rory wanders into Maddie's old room. Dust has gathered on the shelves, but her daughter's drawings still hang on the wall. Rory lowers herself to the floor, remembering the night everything ended. It was Maddie's birthday. Her husband had gone out briefly, but when he returned, his skin was pale and his eyes clouded. He had already been infected. Rory froze, her hesitation costing everything. He lunged at Maddie, biting in her arm before Rory finally struck him down. But it was already too late. The girl soon began to change, forcing Rory to face the unthinkable. Tears slipped down her face as the memory replays again and again. Deep inside, she blames herself for Maddie's death. Quietly, Rory moves through the house. She slips the barn key from Otto's room and takes a pistol with her. The rain still falls outside as she makes her way to the barn. When she steps inside, the horse shifts uneasily. Something is wrong. Rory looks to where Noah had been lying, but the space is empty. Suddenly, strong arms grab her from behind. Noah has woken and pinned her. Before either of them can speak, a violent crash shakes the barn doors. A howler claws its way inside, snarling as it tries to force through the wood. Rory braces her body against the door, pushing it shut with all her strength. Noah seizes her pistol and fires. The gunshot echoes through the night, dropping the creature instantly. The barn falls silent again. Rory stares at Noah, shaken but alive. She demands to know who he is and why he carries the antidote. Noah denies working for GMA. All he wants is to take his bag and leave. But when he tries to move, his wounds give out. He collapses in pain, unable to stand. Rory kneels beside him, torn between leaving him and saving him. At last, she begins treating his injuries. Noah's voice is weak as he explains his story. 2 days earlier, his 8-year-old son Leo had been bit. Desperate, Noah broke into a government camp and stole the antidote. His only goal is to return home before it's too late. For the first time, Rory sees the depth of his desperation. She remembers Maddie. She understands. She convinces Noah to stay the night, warning that he won't survive the journey in his condition. At first, he resists, but at last, he nods in silence and thanks her. Meanwhile, high on a nearby hill, Logan and his men scour the countryside. Scout uses a tracking device, scanning the land. 4 heat signatures appear on the screen. 3 humans and 1 animal. Convinced that Noah is inside Rory's house, Logan demands they attack immediately. Scout urges caution. Night is dangerous. They should wait until morning. But Logan snaps, threatening her with death if she disobeys. Scout falls silent, her face tight with disgust. Back in the house, morning comes quietly. Otto enters with his rifle and points it directly at Noah. He doesn't care about the man's story or his son. All he sees is danger. Rory steps in between them, pleading that Noah isn't GMA. Otto doesn't believe her. Suddenly, Noah's body convulses. He gasps for air, unable to breathe. Otto reacts quickly, recognizing the signs. Noah's lung has collapsed. With no time to waste, Otto drives a sharp tool into Noah's chest, releasing the trapped air. Noah gasps in relief before falling unconscious again. Rory turns to Otto, begging him to help Noah reach his son. Otto snaps her. He knows she is blinded by grief, tried to redeem herself from Maddie's death. Saving this stranger and his child isn't their burden. Before their argument can continue, a loud alarm blares through the house. Their motion sensors have triggered. Rory rushes to the monitors. Outside, armed GMA agents are closing in on the property. Otto realizes they are out of time. He orders Rory to take Noah and escape through the back route. He will hold the line himself. Rory's eyes fill with fear. She doesn't want to leave him. Otto grips her shoulders and tells her this is the only way. He hands Noah a vial of adrenaline, instructing him to use it when the time comes. Before they leave, Rory embraces Otto tightly. For the first time in years, he sees a spark of determination in her eyes again. It brings him comfort, even as he prepares to die. Moments later, Rory helps Noah into the forest while Otto loads his rifle. Outside, Logan and his men close in on the farmhouse. Otto stands waiting, alone but unafraid. Logan offers him mercy if he reveals Noah's location. He claims he lives alone and that there is no one else here. Logan's patience snaps. He signals his men. Gunfire erupts, and Otto's last stand begins against enemies he cannot hope to defeat. Otto grips his rifle and fires the first shot. One GMA agent drops instantly. The others scatter for cover, returning fire as bullets tear through the farmhouse walls. Otto reloads calmly, his face hard with resolve. He has lived through too much to show fear now. Logan steps forward, barking orders. He wants Noah alive, but he doesn't care how many must die to make it happen. Brooks charges toward the barn to flank Otto, but he never makes it. From the shadows, Noah ambushes him with a desperate burst of gunfire. Brooks falls, his body slamming into the mud. The chaos buys Rory and Noah a chance. Clutching the antidote bag, Rory helps Noah toward the back exit. But Logan hears the gunfire and knows immediately what has happened. He pushes his men harder, determined to cut them off. Otto refuses to give an inch. He fires again and again, forcing Logan's soldiers to stay pinned down. But he is only one man, and their numbers are greater. A sudden blast of electricity jolts his body. Logan himself steps forward with a shock device, pressing it against Otto's chest. Otto grits his teeth, refusing to cry out. Logan demands to know where Noah is. Otto says nothing. Another jolt surges through his body, knocking him to his knees. Still, Otto remains silent. Enraged, Logan delivers a final surge. Otto collapses, his body lifeless. Logan steps back, breathing heavily. To him, Otto was nothing more than an obstacle. Scout watches the scene unfold, her expression hard. She has seen Logan's brutality before, but this time it is too much. She mutters that she won't follow him any longer. Logan turns on her, furious, but Scout simply shakes her head. She wants no part of his madness. Logan snarls and storms away, leaving her behind in disgust. Meanwhile, Rory and Noah slip deeper into the forest. The sound of gunfire fades behind them, but the weight of Otto's sacrifice presses heavily on Rory's heart. She wants to turn back, but Noah urges her onward. He knows Otto gave his life so they could survive. Noah stumbles, his wounds slowing him down. He tells Rory to take the horse and return home while she still can. But Rory refuses. She says she has already lost her family and she won't abandon him to the same fate. Her words strike Noah deeply. He sees the grief in her eyes and understands her pain. For a moment, the two share a quiet bond, united by loss and by the faint hope that something still matters in this broken world. But the moment doesn't last. Gunfire suddenly tears through the trees. Logan is caught up. The two dive for cover, bullets whizzing past them. Noah realizes he cannot outrun Logan. His body is too weak, his wounds too severe. He looks at Rory and makes a choice. He presses the satchel into her hands and gives her clear directions to his home. His mother and his son are waiting there. If he cannot make it, she must deliver the antidote for him. Rory shakes her head, unwilling to leave him. But Noah insists. His voice is quiet but firm. He tells her Maddie was lucky to have a mother like her. His words cut deep, but they also give her strength. At last, Rory nods. With tears in her eyes, she turns and runs into the forest with the bag. Noah watches her go, then pulls the vial of adrenaline Otto had given him. He injects it into his arm, his body surging with renewed energy. He grips his weapon tightly, ready for one last fight. When Logan arrives, the two men collide in a brutal gunfight. Noah fights like a man with nothing left to lose, firing with deadly precision. He manages to wound Logan badly, bullets tearing into his side. Logan staggers, but refuses to fall. The fight rages on until Noah finally shoots him down. Logan collapses, bleeding heavily into the dirt. But the sound of gunfire has already drawn the howlers. Their distant shrieks echo through the forest as they close in. Noah stands still, knowing what comes next. He grips his rifle, ready to make his final stand. The howlers pour from the trees, surrounding him on all sides. Noah fights with everything he has, but there are too many. At last, he lowers his weapon and closes his eyes. Moments later, the creatures swarm. Noah is gone, but Rory's journey is far from over, and soon her own fate will be sealed. Rory runs through the dark forest, clutching the satchel to her chest. The gunfire behind her fades, but she doesn't need to turn back to know Noah is gone. Her heart pounds as she stumbles over roots and branches, every step fueled only by the promise she made. Then, a sound cuts through the silence. The piercing shriek of a howler. Another joins it, then another. The pack has caught her scent. She pushes forward, her lungs burning, her legs weak. The howlers close in, their growls growing louder with every second. Rory throws herself behind a rock, panting heavily. With trembling hands, she pulls out a small vial of scent-masking liquid. Pouring it over herself, she waits. The creatures arrive. They sniff the air, circling the rock. One leans close, its twisted face inches from hers. For a moment, Rory doesn't breathe. Then, slowly, the howlers turn away. The liquid has hidden her scent. They continue into the forest, howling as they go. Rory exhales, relief washing over her. But it lasts only seconds. From the shadows, another howler lunges at her. She fights back desperately, slamming her knife into its chest again and again until it finally collapses. Panting, she looks down at her arm. Blood runs from a deep bite mark. Her body goes still. She's been infected. Her hand shakes as she presses the wound, but she doesn't scream. Instead, she stares at the satchel. The antidote is safe. That is all that matters now. The night drags on as she pushes forward, her body weakening with every step. More howlers appear in the distance, but this time they do not attack. They circle her cautiously, sniffing the air. One approaches and leans close, its jaws snapping inches from her face. But then it pauses. It can sense what she already knows. She is becoming one of them. The howlers back away, leaving her unharmed. For the first time, Rory realizes she no longer belongs with the living. By morning, her skin has grown pale. Her vision blurs, and every breath is shallow. Still, she refuses to stop. Step by step, she makes her way to the farmhouse Noah had described. At last, she sees it in the distance. A small home, smoke rising faintly from its chimney. She drags herself to the door and knocks once before placing the satchel on the ground. The door creaks open. A woman steps out with a shotgun in her hands. Noah's mother. She stares at Rory with suspicion. Her voice trembles as she demands to know where her son is. Rory doesn't answer. She can't. Her silence says everything. The woman's eyes fill with tears as she looks down at the satchel. She kneels, picking it up with trembling hands, holding on to the hope it contains for her grandson. Rory turns away. Her task is done. She walks slowly back toward the riverbank, her steps unsteady. There, she lowers herself to the ground and gazes at the water. The infection has nearly taken her, but in this quiet moment, for the first time in years, her heart feels at peace. She imagines Maddie sitting beside her, smiling and laughing as she once did. The vision brings tears to her eyes, but also the faintest trace of smile. Rory lifts her pistol with weak hands. She knows she doesn't have long before the change is complete. With one last breath, she pulls the trigger. The screen fades to black as her voice echoes softly. They say God has left us. I couldn't believe what we've become. Her journey ends here, but the antidote survives, and with it, the fragile chance of humanity's redemption.
I know this can't be true.